My story to becoming a personal trainer, like I was in a gym. I remember the first day it opened up, man. Like the first day in 2017. Rather, was it 2017 it opened up? A few months after I arrived in California. Like, yo, I was there every night just pumping weights. Like my routine was like every 5 days a week, I was in the gym lifting, strength training, bench press, a lot of bench press, dumbbells, and doing it every single day, unconditionally, whether or not knowing I was gonna build the physique, build muscle, grow my physique, and actually tone up. Like, yo, you won't know until you go all in on that goal. For me, it was like, okay, what's one thing that I'm currently doing or are needing to do in my fitness endeavor that's going to make things possible for me to actually see results? It wasn't until a year and a half later that I began to see significant growth in how I looked. How I looked. I'm talking about my chest, my flat chest. I'm talking about my arms, which have gained some definition in the past to now. I'm talking about my shoulders. Now they've broadened out. Like I've received, I can't tell you the image, the boost in self-esteem, confidence I got from peers, people that I know up to this day. One in particular, that stood out the most. And it's not even about the self-esteem altogether. It's about being able to make the most of your physique, make the most of your transformation, and lean into the process. A lot of guys are not leaning into the process and are fixated on the result. The process is what you need to lean into. And for me, it was every night, pumping in weights every night. And at that point, I began to gain a sense of familiarity with the people I frequent at the gym. They knew me. They started to know me. I started to know them, their goals, what brought them to the gym, their lives. And all of that all together is what led me to just building relationships in the gym. Important relationships that, I'll forever hang on to, seeing as a lot of them don't go to the gym anymore, Planet Fitness from way back. Like, that changed my life. And being able to see them telling me, hey man, they would literally start throwing tidbits. Are you a personal trainer, man? You look good, man. How are you managing your diet? How are you managing your physique? What's your routine like? Bro, I'm there like, yo, I appreciate you, man. Like, I would give them a little bit of tidbits of information, right? Nothing too crazy, just my own experience. If you can understand what it means to really go all out and get to the next level, you're going to get to your goal definitely. But it's only going to happen unless you understand the process and understand what you know you need to do. For me, what was weight loss? What did it really mean? What did bulking mean? These are things I had to figure out, experiment a little bit. And the one thing that I can tell you is after seeing these individuals so much in my life, they would begin to throw even more tidbits at me. Are you a personal trainer? You're like, what are you doing? Ever thought about getting certified? What's that process looking like? I'm thinking, man, I never even wanted to be a personal trainer. I never even thought about it or thought of it, much less was it something I even wanted to do. So the idea of it began to slowly appear on my radar. Because I can tell you one thing, man, I know for certain, 110% certainty, that I never knew what I wanted to do after high school. It was something in relation to running track, but outside of that, it was nothing. And then slowly I began to find myself in college for nursing. Disgusting. And the whole sheer thought of being able to work and live for the rest of your life, clocking into a facility. This is me, by the way. Clocking into a facility, it never sat well with me. Why am I going to sit in a hospital for the next few decades of my life and just sit there and work till I die? And there's no freedom in that. If I wanted to go travel, I wouldn't be allowed to go do so on my own accord. When they tell me to go and do it, is when I go and do it. And then they tell you, oh, this is how much time you get off when you're traveling. So that means they're running my life. So that means if I only get 2 weeks, I can only take 2 weeks off. I gotta be back by this day, this time. And if I'm not, there's going to be consequences. Best believe that. Whether it's reduced hours, whatever the consequences are in the medical field or in the hospital, because God knows what kind of consequences there are and how that occurs. For me, man, like I'm looking at every little thing that I can do in my life and how I can get to that goal. And at that point, in that previous conversation, I was literally inspired to transition online and to take my fitness goals, take my experience, what little experience I had in lifting, what little experience I had in nutrition and go online with it. And the rest became history. And that's what led me to becoming a personal trainer. And I can't tell you the importance of what it means to find your passion, because you'll never know until you view and look at things you like to do, whether it's painting, whether it's music. It could be a variety of things, whether it's agriculture. Like, every niche is profitable, man. Like, you just never know what your passion is until you actually go out there and get it done. And for me, it just so happened to be fitness. That was my avenue. And if I wasn't in the gym lifting ever since 2017, when that very first Planet Fitness opened up, I remember the exact same corner that it opened up on. I remember the exact same location, the exact same day it opened. And it wasn't until like a year and a half after attending that gym, like, everything changed, man. Like, meeting these individuals and just seeing them every night, them working out, getting their session, getting their grinding. Like, not only was it cool to see them every single night, every other night that I was there, it allowed me to learn more about my character, who I was, what I wanted out of life, and to inevitably get after it. Because if you don't get after your goals yourself, nobody else will. And I truly believe that you truly are going to be a byproduct of the advice or the circumstance you currently position yourself in. For me, going to school, going to college, I mean, long term, like, playing that little role, it's not really something I really envision for myself, nor is it an ideal that I plan to live out the rest of my life. I never thought great about the idea of spending decades in the hospital for the rest of your life, and then having no will to do what you want out of that. Like, if I want to travel full time or travel whenever I so deem or desire to, then there's somebody in the back of my mind gonna be telling me, oh, you can't do that. You gotta be here at this day working. Just the sheer thought of that, it disgusts me so much so that it's why I prefer not to preference. All right, because everybody has their own preference. I prefer to not work for another individual who could dictate my life in any way they see fit. That's something that I truly disgust. And it's something that I'm not going to be a part of, nor will it be something that I would think anybody should, be a part of. But at the end of the day, it's not really about me. It's about you, the individual, tapping in, right? You want to be able to find a way where you can go about the process, go about your weight loss endeavor, to where there's a minimal friction and you're able to see steady progress. The only way that's going to happen is if you continually put yourself into alignment with the right actions to get you to the goal. For me, after understanding what it was that I knew I needed to do, more struggles, more challenge. They weren't even struggles. I call them challenges about content creation. Oh, I gotta post every day. I gotta get on my stories every day. I gotta do this every day. It's one thing after the other, and it began to become a strenuous load, that I began to understand what it meant to be a personal trainer in the online space, because it's just a slight difference between doing it online and doing it in person. Because in person, you're more than likely you're not having the need to post every single day, which is a tedious and minuscule process, very minuscule. The whole idea is literally, it's never letting up for whatever reason there is. It's never letting up for the simple fact of, if things don't go the way you want it to, what are you going to do about it? You're going to fold? You're going to fold if you're not hitting your weight loss target. You're going to fold if you're not hitting your protein goal. You're going to fold because you're not losing those ripples in your stomach. Or you're going to rise up to the occasion and simply get it done. That's the whole idea behind being able to see a goal and see it to the very end. Like, you got to be able to see the goal, man, and see it for what it is. If you can, realize what needs to be done and what you can do in the process towards getting there, it's going to be a lot more easier to create that change you're looking for in your own fitness journey. Like, every day, bro, I got to look at social media marketing, what's working, what's not working. Same thing with my fitness routine. I have to continually modify it. If I'm in a gym strength training 4 or 5 times a week, okay, what's working, what isn't working? And the modification of that, and asking yourself these questions every day. That's exactly what you need to focus on if your goal is to get to that goal and get there indefinitely. Only way you're going to get there, man, is if you continually be present and ask yourself reflective questions. What's going on in your life? What can you do? what should you not be doing in your own fitness routine. And these things allow me to get to the point where I am today, being able to share my story and being able to understand that any goal is truly possible. It just may take a push, a sense of, or a bit of encouragement from a few people you know in your life to go and get after it. I did that. I needed that extra push myself, because if it weren't for those people in my life, I'm not sure if I would have even thought of becoming a personal trainer so soon. Would have happened at a later time than the present moment that I'm currently with right now at this point in time. I think that extra push that we all need that push in life to go after our goals, go after the things that matter most to us in our life. And a lot of us won't go after it for the simple thought that we're fearful, or we're scared, timid about the ideas or beliefs of people in our life that are most important and or related to us in our life. That's the thing that I want to really bring about on. If you have a goal, if you have something in your life, you have passion, you have pursuits, you have things that you admire in your life, and it brings you joy, it brings you peace, it brings you happiness. How about you monetize that? And if you can manage that long term, bro, like, the sky's the limit. There literally is no definition, no scope to how far you can go. If all you simply did was manage that thing in your life and get to your goal in due time. That's only gonna happen, bro, if you're like managing the process, understanding what needs to be done to get to your goal. You can monetize anything you want to in life. All that matters is how you go about the process and what needs to be done to get to that goal. Like, in that day, the moment that I signed my first client, I understood something that very significant, that very important thing. Because people will tell you what you should do based off their own experiences. Are they wrong? Whether it be friends, family, associates, co-workers? No. They're just sharing their own experience based on how they live their life, based on what happened to them in their life. And they're going to give you direction on what they think you should do and how you're handling the current situation in your life. And me, if it wasn't for the simple idea that if I had not listened to those individuals who actually saw something in me and decided to go after my goals, even when I didn't think it was possible, trust me, I wouldn't be where I am today. And if so, I would be where I am today at a later point in time. All because I decided to play it safe, all because I decided to wait till things were okay to go and start that new venture. Like, I've realized something. There is no perfect time. There is no best time to start a business adventure. There is no perfect time to start that new thing you want to do. There is no perfect time for any of it. None of it. The best time is now, the present moment. That's the best time to go and take action. And if anybody tells you to go and wait until you finish school, okay, you can wait 4 years until you finish school just to go and start that venture you want to start. Depending on how much capital it is, depending on what the expenses are like, sure, you can wait 4 years to figure it all out, or you can figure it out now. I find the value and significance of living in the present moment, because tomorrow is never promised. Tomorrow never is, and we only get today to live it by, to make the most of it. And how you get to choose to do so is going to be it's a consensus. It's that point on how you're going to get to the goals, get to where you want to be in your life, and make the goals that matter most to you a reality. And most people never get to their goals, much less make it become a reality, because they're so focused or fixated on what people think, what the perceptions are of how people think you should live your life. I'm more of an advocate of what can I do internally so to get to my goal? What can I do, and be realistic about the process to get to my goal indefinitely? But look, man, at the end of the day, all you have is you, your goals, and the intention behind how you go about accomplishing those goals in your own fitness endeavor, in your own business endeavor, or maybe financial endeavor, or in building a relationship. All right, developing a relationship, growing, nurturing it, hopefully with Christ, because that is important. The whole goal idea behind being inspired by something, I think we all need that extra push. We all need that extra sense of encouragement to go after what's more important. And if you find something that continues to give you that extra spark, that gives you inspiration, my thoughts on that is hold on to it, find a way to monetize it, make it your passion, pursue it, and never letting up in any circumstance until that goal of yours becomes a reality. That's what I learned from my story in personal training, to becoming a personal trainer, and how those important individuals that were in my life years ago inspired me to get to where I am today, being able to help men, serving them to the best of their capabilities. That is it for today's video. If you got any insights, clarity, direction, or were inspired in any way, shape, or form, go share it. Go subscribe to this page below for more ways to hit to your fitness goals and more.